to my son, to my brothers, to my children out there. Boys,
an impassioned plea made by Tegofatso Pule's aunt that would be remembered by many South Africans for years to come. The plight of women and the abuse they suffer at the hands of partners are well documented, causing outrage. But boys and men also fall victim to abuse. Abraham Bosman, chair of the Save the Boy Child organization, broke his silence for the first time in 2019 after 43 years.
As a 7-year-old boy, coming to school in Pimville, there was a bush there in Zone 7 where we pass when we go to school. You know what happened is there was this man, I think the system then had men loitering, and a man is not supposed to loiter because as he see me going to school in the morning, he decided to rape me.
Bosman says he could not discuss it with his parents and there was no one else to confide in. He took to smoking, alcohol and other coping mechanisms.
There was this thing of anger, wanting to take charge of my life again, because that when I was raped, I actually lost my self-esteem, my identity as a man. So I was trying to gain it back, so I became a violent person. What we do with our boys, we're telling them wrong things. We're saying a boy doesn't cry. If you say a boy doesn't cry, where do those tears go to? He will actually spill them somewhere at the wrong place.
Through the organization, Bosman is able to fulfill the role of father to those with absent fathers. He says several factors contribute to adolescent boys' misconceptions of manhood. In the fight against abuse, male victims feel their experiences are often invalidated and ignored. Abuse survivors attribute this to inadequate platforms allowing for shared discussions and information.
When we look at the posters on the on the sites that are advertising support for rape victims, etc., it's always women. Myself, when I was 16, I was walking around looking for support, and every place I went to, there was a poster of a woman that was the victim, or a little girl that was the victim, and a big man that was the perpetrator. And that wasn't my story. That wasn't my story at all. I was at that point in my life, I'd been raped by men and women. And nobody was telling me that, hey, Martin, you too can be a victim. I walked around thinking that I'm the only one. And there are millions of boys out there. We need to start telling the truth. It's not just men that rape, it's women rape too. It's not just girls that are the victims, boys are the victims too. We need to put that truth out there, and we need to create safe spaces where boys and men can come in and start talking about what happened to them.
At your ECD facilities, even your primary school, senior primary and high school, not sufficient work is being done around the gender-based violence issues, around rights and responsibilities, acceptable and unacceptable behaviors, and looking at re-socializing these patterns of behavior and the values that are instilled. A lot of work needs to be done. I think it calls for immediate, urgent action.
During his address on Wednesday, the president urged lawmakers to process legislative amendments around gender-based violence. Organizations like Bosman's are hopeful that the plight of boys and men will be taken as seriously as that of women. Nosipho Mncube, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Well,